While pursuing all these reforms, the Reserve Bank has also made conscious efforts to improve systemic resilience and efficiency by maintaining external stability and building forex reserves. Now, on the matter of building foreign forex reserves, the conventional approach has been that, well, it's a market function, and the central banks traditionally has been, it has been seen that the central bank should not consciously try to build reserves because it is anti-market, because you are mopping up foreign exchange, and therefore it is anti-market, and therefore it should not be done. Even the International Monetary Fund or some of the advanced country economists were about 10 years ago or 7-8 years ago, they were frowning upon this idea. But now the thinking has changed. In Reserve Bank of India, I remember in sometime in March or April of 2019, in IMF in a meeting, I took the position that central banks in emerging market economies, in EMEs, have to build forex reserves. When there is a current account deficit, when there is a current payment BOP crisis, where will these central banks of emerging market economies go? You don't expect EME, a country of India's size or a large economy, every time they have a BOP crisis to rush to the IMF, because rushing to the IMF is associated with certain stigma, rightly or wrongly is another issue. So therefore, eventually in today's globalized world, every country has to look after its own interest. So our official position we announced is that we will build adequate forex reserves, because a BOP crisis can come at any time. When there are inflows, there could be outflows also. It is all a cycle. You have huge inflows and you don't do anything. You just watch that currency to come in, resulting in rupee appreciation. And we have nothing to say on rupee appreciation or depreciation. Let me clarify very clearly. Some of my media friends are present here, so don't read it the other way. I mean, the rupee, exchange rate of the rupee is a function of the market. We have no specific target about the exchange rate. What should be the rupees exchange rate, whether it should be 82 rupees or 83 rupees or 81 rupees. We have no specific target. But our objective, we announced some 4 or 5 years ago, we were quite open about it, that we want to build up reserves, because when the cycle turns and when there are outflows, it is your reserves which will come to your rescue. And take it from me, last year when last year when the Ukraine war started, there were heavy outflows from many countries, including India, particularly emerging market economies. But the fact that we had reserves of 600 billion plus gave a lot of confidence to the market, particularly to the international investors, that India will be able to honor its commitment, and therefore the pressure on the Indian rupee was not as much as the pressure on many other currencies. And even at that time, the fact that we had 600 billion plus reserves helped us to maintain an orderly depreciation of the Indian rupee. It was not as if overnight the rupee crashed from 73 to 80 rupees or something like that. It was a kind of an orderly evolution which we ensured. And at that time there were sort of apprehensions expressed, quite rightly, apprehensions expressed that perhaps the RBI was, being too aggressive, and in fact I read somewhere that the Reserve Bank was perhaps splurging foreign exchange. Our position was very clear. You buy an umbrella to use when it rains. And it was raining, and raining very badly immediately after the war commenced in Europe, because capital was flowing out almost from every emerging economy. So what do you do with 600 billion forex reserves if you do not use it to ensure an orderly depreciation of the Indian rupee? So you bought an umbrella, you cannot just keep it saying that the umbrella will get little damaged. The umbrella has to be used when it is necessary, and I am happy to point out, and I have said it earlier also, that the umbrella continues to be strong even today. We crossed $600 billion reserves some time ago, but because of revaluation, sometimes it comes below 600, sometimes it goes above 600, but it is broadly around $600 billion.